Alright guys, the discussion around things like Game of the Year and how game reviews are done is a very contentious one. Honestly, it's something that I would never wish to get into. I do not want to be a game quote-unquote reviewer. I would never want to be a part of having to nominate games for a Game of the Year simply because it is a very controversial, divisive topic. However, we have seen time and time again where the access media, the shills, have done everything they can to try and prevent, to block, to diminish the significance of specific games that have done very well in appealing to a mass audience, like Black Myth Wukong, for example, a game that was monumentally loved by most everybody who played it, and of course smashed sales numbers all over the world, and yet somehow IGN decided to not have this game as the Game of the Year on their face-off. And again, we saw a lot of controversy about how the votes were tabulated. Again, we're here in election season, and I know voting is a very controversial topic, but IGN was put on blast for essentially, quote-unquote, rigging this face-off that they did for Game of the Year on their website simply because of their past history with this game and their level of vitriol for the studio Game Science that made Black Myth Wukong. Well, now we are starting to see the Dragon Age reviews come in, and oh my god, the level of astroturfing and kissing up that you can see from the access media towards Bioware is absolutely unhinged. So, of all the reviews that I've seen, this one here from Gaming Bible is my absolute favorite, and honest to god, you can skip pretty much every section of this review except for this one right here, which kind of sums it all up perfectly. The person who wrote this article says, I especially enjoyed being able to make my character overweight. As someone who's mid-sized, I love that term, mid-sized, it's validating to be able to create a character that reflects that aspect of myself. Not everyone will want to, but it's liberating to have that option. As to is being able to have top surgery scars or to depict a woman with facial hair. These are details that help us resonate with Rook on a deeper level, truly allowing for the immersion RPGs are so famed for. Some call it woke, but they're merely parroting a word without understanding its origins. This right here is why nobody trusts game reviewers anymore. This site went on to give this game a 10 out of 10 because of, again, the inclusion and diversity. Much like you see in this tweet here from Learning the Law on Twitter that says, the first review of Dragon Age the Veilguard is in, approved by Metacritic. It's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. And this again is from Checkpoint Gaming, talking about how they wanted to be gay as F, how it's very inclusive in very thoughtful and wonderful ways, and it's a testament to diversity and inclusivity. Again, they're only looking for one type of criteria when they're making their reviews of these games. But it gets better because a lot of the reason we're seeing these type of reviews coming out is because of the leaks that we were told about early on that we are now seeing come true in real time.
I've been asked by the devs not to spoil specifically who I'm talking about here. As a non-binary person myself, Veilguard includes some of the most authentic representation of coming to terms with general gender stuff, and having to navigate your family's reaction to it I've yet to see in a game.
This is Tash.
It doesn't feel like an after-school special or like I'm being pandered to. It's quite well handled, and finding out that the writer for this character is non-binary themselves did not surprise me at all.
A damn good-looking hero, if
9
I do say so.
out of 10.
And again, this is exactly what we're talking about. These are the things that these reviewers look for. This transgender representation, the pronoun options, the non-binary characters. This is what makes them tick. This is why you see so many of these websites giving this game 9.5 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 5 stars out of 5, because of the fact that it's massively pushing this agenda-driven BS that we are seeing more heavily implemented into all of these games. And of course, IGN of all these had to come out and give it a 9, again reviewed by a transgender person at IGN. There was no way that this game was not going to get a 9. Let's be clear about that. Despite the fact that they gave Stellar Blade, what I would assume is a monumentally better game than Dragon Age Veilguard, a 7, which is the same score they gave Concord. Concord, a game that no longer exists, a game that didn't make it 2 weeks before it got shut down, and the studio has now been permanently shut down by Sony today. And yet IGN gives Stellar Blade the same score as Concord, but they give Dragon Age Veilguard a 9. So this is very suspicious behavior. And now we are seeing this article from that Park Place saying that Bioware is being accused of astroturfing reviews for Dragon Age the Veilguard. And of course, this is not something that anybody who's been paying attention at all should be surprised by. These people have no scruples. They have no morals. They can all be bought. We saw article after article come out over the last 2 years about how Rotten Tomato scores can be curated, how they can purchase reviews for Rotten Tomatoes for about $50 a piece to make a certain movie have a positive review instead of a negative review. Absolutely mind-blowing stuff. And of course, you see right here where a lot of this actually started was from right here, from Skooma a few days ago, showing that Checkpoint Gaming, PlayStation Universe, Digital Trends, IGN Portugal, Pure Xbox, among other websites, all used the exact same verbiage in their reviews. They all use this term, return to form for Bioware. And why that matters, why that is significant, is if you go scroll down this article right here, this person here who actually works at Bioware, the narrative director, okay, I believe his name is John Epler. He said, I was asked my goals for the project, and one of the ones I put was I want to see the phrases, a triumphant return to form for Bioware in at least one review. Excited to finally mark that goal done. Very suspicious behavior, guys. Very curious. But a lot of this started because also another massive YouTube content creator, WolfartFPS, a few days ago said 3 creators, myself included, were a bit more critical than others with our hands-on time with Dragon Age the Veilguard. Not a single one of us will be getting a review code with time to actually give opinions before release. Just thought I would throw that out there. He then went on to say, please keep in mind, folks, that this does not mean that my more critical opinion is better or more truthful than those who have been more positive. I'm just simply pointing out how marketing works. This also doesn't mean the game will be bad, but it is something to consider. Now today he has gone on to yesterday, about how Fextra Life, a massive account, just posted a video linked below talking about the review code situation. This is one of the largest RPG focused channels on YouTube who has more knowledge on and has worked with probably more publishers, studios, etc. than anyone else in this particular subgenre. Speaking up against a gigantic corporation like EA is a big deal for a channel of that size. If you're excited for the game, continue to be. I'll be watching reviews and playing on Friday myself. I really hope I end up enjoying it. Just keeping this stuff in mind, we're simply talking about corporation marketing strategies. They don't care about you, they care about your money. And of course, Asmongold chimes in and says, as someone who's been extremely critical of Extra Life in the past, I completely support them in this circumstance. Celebrating and pushing for certain people to not get review copies is the first step towards access journalism and the chilling effect it has on genuine reviews. And again, the content creator Fextra Life in question, the video in question, I'm going to go ahead and play a little clip of it for you now to listen to for yourself.
So following all this, we were invited by EA to attend a preview event for Dragon Age the Veilguard in September with a lot of other press and content creators. We were by no means the only ones doing this. And after attending that event, we made our impressions video from playing the game, which has close to 300,000 views on our YouTube channel right now, which I think is one of the most viewed impressions videos for that game at this time. If you watch that video, the general sentiment is that we were cautiously optimistic about the game. We praised its gameplay, character depth, but we weren't completely sold about the storytelling in the long run, although we only got to play a very little bit of time, so we weren't entirely sure. And in general, we didn't really like the character models, the design style of them, which I think a lot of people don't. Some people accused us of being paid by Bioware and EA to promote the game, which of course we're obviously not. I was even contacted by another content creator who had attended the event that asked me why my criticisms were worded more cautiously and asked me if I was concerned when I made my video that I'd be denied access to a review code. To which, of course, I replied, no, I'm not worried about getting denied access to review code. That simply doesn't happen in the gaming industry. But I was not concerned about this at all. I reassured him that he shouldn't be concerned about this because it's just not really a thing in the gaming industry. It's so rare that it shouldn't scare someone into not saying what they think about a game. So
that right there is laughable for any of us, like I said, who've been around longer than a minute, because we have seen time and time again in not just the gaming industry, but pretty much any industry that revolves around entertainment and trying to push a product, that there are these pay-to-play situations where you have to give good reviews or you do not get access. This again, this little clip here from Twitter from Data Racer, going way back, talking about how essentially people in Hollywood, people in every entertainment industry around have got to give positive reviews if they want access to certain IPs and certain early reviews.
Everybody in our industry occasionally has to play softball, occasionally has to, look the other way a little bit. Everybody has to do it.
Wait, returning what? Like a movie
in
that's
the sense that,
or?
I hated a movie, but I won't say that I hated the movie. Or an actor behaved a sort of way, and you don't want to, put it out there that happened.
Right, because you might not get the next review,
right.
next
So
gig.
to some
Okay.
degree, everybody in our industry that is a part of this quote-unquote access media has to sort of decide which battles they want to pick.
And again, I think that right there is definitely the case, even though that was a clip from 5 years ago, that here we are 5 years later and nothing has changed. So I'm going to leave it right there. Let me know what you guys think about all this, and I will catch you on the next one. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.